Hey, coming up, how to truly reinvent yourself on the week before Christmas. A step-by-step guide this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends and George Jansen sewing up to talk about some 2024 nutrition trends. Coming up this morning in the lab. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab, where
when something negative comes up,
go to muscle and pool, blood flow.
Nobody is expecting John.
If your lady's saying that, you're just
Being a super
Be entertained by fun over here.
How have I slept? Has my sleep been good? That
That's right. Justin wrote the show for sure, showing up today as well. I didn't say his name in the opener because I was struggling to pronounce it. But Justin's coming up here at 8:15 Eastern time. He joined me live in the lab a few months ago. Justin works in the world of professional sports and athletics and fitness. We're going to hang out with Justin, catch up with what he's been up to in the last several months. Hey, it's Friday the Loop. Got a lot of big things we're tackling today with myself, Jon Andersen, CMartyFit, and producer Jimmy over there. Yeah, true story. The week before the big holiday where the big ho-ho guy shows up in our kids' world. Speaking of the kids, if they're in the room, you might want to put the headset on. You might want to tell them to leave the room because we might drop some F-bombs, S-bombs, C-bombs along the way because we might offend them. Or you might add some money to the chip jar. Hey, for the first time ever, we are streaming live on Substack. Yeah, over there, on that camera over there, we're doing the old behind the scenes on Substack. So if you're joining me over here on Substack, you come find us over here on YouTube and LinkedIn, where we got the big show going on here with Jon Andersen. Let's bring him up there, Jimmy. And Marty Fit. What's going on, Johnny? You found the fresh cigar today.
well, yeah. I found a box actually.
Yeah.
So I must have bought this thing and put it in the back so that I must have been smoking a box that I wasn't terribly fond of. So when I buy something I think I'm gonna like, I won't open it. I'll put it back there, get the ones out of the way that I was kind of marginal about. And I just freaking forgot that these things were back there. I got two boxes of them. I got the round tip and the pointed tip. So oh man, this thing's good.
I would have loved to have seen your expression as you're going, because it's middle of the night over where you live, and you get up and you're fucking shuffling through a dark room, wherever it was. You open up, and you're like, oh.
I found this last night. This is all done yesterday, brother. None of this is done this morning. Come on.
You're right. Even better than you're looking at this. Your expression must have been.
Yeah, it was just like, it was kind of like it was. I mean, I remember the sound day, Matt. I was like, oh, what do we have here? Like, what just turned up? This is beautiful.
And then when we find something we like, you have to wait, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to save it for the morning when I get up. So you rush to bed, you go, or did you grab a huff last night before you went to bed?
No, because smoking cigars for me is more of a social thing.
I know it is. Yes.
I mean, sometimes you'll find me like if I'm like, say I'm going to be outside doing some work on my phone in the sun, you'll find me smoking a cigar because it's kind of that. But you're not going to find, like, in general, not going to find me at night by myself smoking a cigar. It's more celebratory.
Just
you know what I mean?
On the shaft, eh? Just hanging out with this, just hanging that shaft and just pulling.
That shaft has got to have a certain flavor, and it's got the flavor this morning.
That's right. Speaking of shafts with flavor, no, Johnny, I wasn't segue to Marty. I wasn't going to do that. No, I would not throw my brother Marty under the bus with that kind of comment.
That's when you say play with me, Marty.
That's unruly.
Oh, good to have my good buddy, my brother from another mother, one of the OGs here in the lab, Christopher Martin. What a shake and CMartyFit today, my friend. What's going on? We're having a cigar chat. We're having a cigar chat with Johnny. Marty, Johnny discovered a box of cigars last night that he hadn't found in a long time, and it was like magic. And Johnny, hey, listen, in a world where we're all very boring, the three of us, like the most boring guys ever, when we find something that makes us happy, it's like happiness, isn't it?
I wouldn't say boring. Fuck, man. Nothing. I would say, I mean, if you backtracked in my life, there's a lot of fucking exciting shit. A lot of shit that a lot of shit. I guess boring would be the term for someone who's just living this kind of evil. You know, when someone's bored with their own life, that's a boring motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Speaking of not boring, you guys hear some of the rumbles in the old sporting world. Good morning, good time. Good to see you there this morning.
Boring is good though, man.
I know, man. So Logan Paul and what's his name? Conor McGregor gonna have a fight. What do you boys think of that?
What?
I think it's another cash machine, man. Good for them.
Yeah, it's $100 million cash change on. That's exactly what the rumor to be. Yeah, it's $100 million payday for
Let's
both of them.
fucking go.
They're gonna do it in India. And they apparently, Marty, it might be announced on the upcoming Raw Saturday night. So we know that Netflix is taking on Raw, right?
Well, hold on. Wasn't McGregor? He's not fighting. What's the guy's name?
In the UFC there? Yeah, no, he's like,
supposed to fight him in Dallas this year, right?
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm going to hold on. I'm going to go cash my $100 million paycheck with Paul over there.
Man, the UFC doesn't pay that kind of money.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Wow, man. Yeah, Dana White taking all their money. Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly it. So I'm
not mad at her. I'm not mad at him either.
No.
I mean, he created a monopoly. He went and bought the other competitive league at the time was Pride. Once he bought them, it was like literally like a major league in baseball, and they cut out AAA, AA, and single A, and just made rookie balls. That's the jump between the two. You know, too large for people. There's no ladder to climb.
Good time. You got a comment that US must be getting a cut. There's some rumors have it. There's some rumors. We know that WWE is moving to Netflix coming up here soon, right? In the next couple of weeks. There's rumors, Marty and Johnny, that the announcement might be made on Netflix on Raw on a Saturday night. And there's rumors that it might get this, boys. It might be positioned, talk about kayfabe, Johnny. It might be positioned as a UFC versus WWE thing. Because Logan's now signed with WWE Raw. You got still McGregor positioned with the UFC. So they might actually position it in a fake / real / kayfabe way, which is the UFC versus WWE, one night only, McGregor versus Logan Paul. And
you can guarantee the WWE's in with this. The question is, will Dana White? Because Dana White, that's the one's going to get over because he wants to, I mean, granted, he's a businessman, but I don't think I think there's a good possibility that he doesn't want to make any of his fans think that there's some hustle to it.
Well, so apparently, Johnny, to your point, he might be the key to this. Marty, what were you going to say? Because this could be the biggest thing, man. What are you thinking, Marty?
Yeah, I was going to say this might be bigger than Tyson and Paul.
Oh, 100%.
And, yeah.
Well, so we know. Go ahead. Yeah.
I got something to throw on the table for y'all.
Oh,
so every podcast I've listened to or anybody talk about McGregor, they say McGregor has lost his hunger because the peak that he reached.
He makes so much money now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They say he's reached his peak. Like there's no more. That's why he got his ass whipped by Portier or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
So how do y'all feel about it?
Well, I think in a guy like that, I think if there's going to be something that's going to get him off his butt, it's going to be $100 million. He wasn't getting paid that in the UFC.
Yeah, that's exactly.
The UFC, he was just getting a nice little side dish payday, take it or leave it. But $100 million, and we're talking. I think he's driven by things that are like huge, and he's outgrown the UFC.
You're right, Johnny, and ego, right? So think about the stage, right? So not only the cash, Marty, but think about the stage, the prestige, the headlines. We live in, attention is currency right now, right? That's what it is, right? Yeah. So, okay, I'll go make $2 million fighting in the UFC and, make a little deal of it, or I'll go and become a big headline with Logan. And let's just face it, right? That's going to be a monstrosity of cash made along the way. But ask yourself this: if you got hundreds of $1 million sitting in the bank account, you want to go get in a room and have some guy just bash your head in for 20 minutes? Probably not.
Well, I think that when it comes to something like this, the money is not really about the money. The money is just a barometer of what he's worth to the public. And I think that's what he's hungry for, is that fame.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, good time. WWE and UFC are part of one now, right? So TKO Sports, publicly traded company now. So WWE UFC is one company owned under the umbrella of TKO Sports.
I'll say this too. I hope it's not no fake bullshit. Like I really want to see Conor McGregor fight. Like I don't want to see that Tyson bullshit. Like Tyson wasn't fighting for real.
No.
I'm convinced.
No, for sure he wasn't.
I'm convinced.
No.
I mean, because even like, I'm not sure if y'all know who Mike Miller is, white guy played in the NBA for, 10, 15 years. When he was coaching at Memphis, they have a video of him playing against one of the players, and he's busting the player's ass.
Yeah.
So them retired guys, they still got some dog in them. So I don't want to see any of that bullshit that Mike Tyson did,
Speaking of retired guys, good time, true story. Last year, before McMahon crap turned into what it turned into, the UFC acquired WWE and turned it into TKO. Marty, have you watched McMahon yet on Netflix?
Nah, I'm gonna watch it this weekend.
Brother,
I'm excited to watch.
Really eager to talk to you about that. Speaking of retired, boys, I had something fun here that maybe we'll roll it throughout the show today. But ChatGPT was asked yesterday what was the most overrated NFL players, and there's a great list. So I thought, because I know you boys are a couple NBA guys here, especially you, Marty, I asked the question. Who are the most...
Marty's gonna have to carry the NBA conversation, man. I know some of the greats.
On a fucking rant.
I know some of the greats, but I'm gonna be lost after that.
Well, I know you and me both, Johnny, but I think this is kind of funny, right? Just even on the loose end of it. So
you say under or overrated?
Overrated. So I asked, So the question was, who are the most overrated players in NBA history according to ChatGPT? And Marty, number one on the list. Who do you think number one was?
Overrated,
yeah. In NBA history,
it'll probably say
history.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
Yeah. Well, I thought because we were talking Patrick Ewing yesterday, we were talking about bullshit.
Yeah, he's on there. He better be on there. No.
He's actually not on here. Number one, Marty, Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, get the fuck out of here!
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here, man.
Why?
Oh
Why often
get the fuck out of here?
But you're talking about overrated once they were in the league, or overrated when they were coming in?
Yeah, that's awful, man. That's crazy. We're talking about a guy who led a team to a national championship in college as a freshman, got to the league, broke scoring records, had a phenomenal career. Went head to head with LeBron. Come on, man. That's crazy, man.
I'll tell you why. It's saying why.
Well, I got one more thing. They kind of bullshitted him towards the end of his career and created a narrative that he's like selfish and a bad guy and all this stuff. So that could probably add to it.
Well, so the reason was why, often celebrated for his scoring ability, Melo's lack of defensive impact and inability to lead teams deep into the playoffs have led critics to question his overall legacy. A great scorer, but didn't consistently impact winning, was the feedback about Carmelo Anthony, who is rated the number one overrated player according to ChatGPT. We'll run this list throughout the show here today and keep talking.
That's cool. I don't want to take over the show. I'll fucking be here for an hour.
Marty, but I'm the moment I dropped them, you're like, fuck that, no way. Like you're adamant that.
Yeah, I'm passionate about basketball, man.
Yeah. So there you go. There's Allen Iverson's number 3 on the list. AI.
I knew I knew he'd be in the top 5. Yeah. Who's two?
Russell Westbrook.
Get the yeah. I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling today.
It sounds like they're just looking for chink in the armor is what they're looking for.
They are. They want to get a reaction, man.
That potentially could be it. All right, let's do this. Let's keep the show rolling. I thought we had Justin Roethlisberger showing up today, but maybe he's got some issues happening. But that's fine. We got a lot of things to talk about today. But Jimmy, let's go to the accountability check-in. Jimmy, we're gonna come back. I'm gonna show the boys the exchange when we get back. Yeah, they don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm going to put that on the table. Going to celebrate something with the boys here. I am looking for this right here. Yeah, baby. All right, here we go. Let's get it. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. You can bench 225. Yeah, I'm benching 250 these days. But can you admit you're struggling? Can you admit you're struggling? You're like, oh yeah, I'm 225 and pushing hard. Listen, vulnerability, big word. You don't find it in the gym. No, you find it in the alphabet. Yeah, that's exactly where it's the V, ends in the Y. Vulnerability is the hardest weight you'll ever lift. Yeah, it's not 45 pounds, 35 pounds. It is weightless. But yet it's the heaviest, hardest weight you'll ever lift. For years, men have been told to be tough, to be stoic, never show cracks. But the strongest men admit they don't have it all together. No way, baby. Vulnerability? No, it's not a weakness. It's a strength. It takes guts to ask for help. It takes courage to own mistakes. It takes strength to say I'm struggling. And listen, business athletes, no, man, we don't fake toughness. We lean into that vulnerability we have inside of us. We discover it. We dig in to grow stronger, live authentically. So let's lean into this. When was the last time you said to your own mirror, to your buddy on the other side, I need help? I didn't say I need a spot. No, because you're crushing the 225. I need help. Think about it, gentlemen. As we head into the end of the year, if you need help, ask for it. Lift the biggest weight in your life. Lift the biggest weight off your chest. Be vulnerable. See what happens. There's your accountability check-in. This morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. That's it. All right, boys, let's keep it rocking and rolling here this morning. We're behind the scenes on the Substack over here as well. So, yeah, that's exactly it. Let's see. We got a good time. Another comment here. It's interesting, right? A good time. It'll be fake. I think the more I learn, more sports are rigged. Well, good time. They're not all rigged, man. We got a lot of big sports betting around the world here. So, I don't know how
you could bet on the Tyson Paul fight.
Yeah, you absolutely could. It's you know what, boys? I have to think. I got a prediction. I'm going to make a prediction live on the show here today. I suspect in our lifetime, Johnny, Marty, our lifetime, and Good Time, our lifetime, there's going to be a massive, massive, massive gambling sports controversy that's going to have to reset rules, laws, the benchmarks, kind of how we all look at sports betting, because it's happened so fast, boys, where we wake up and there's sports betting on every single thing around, and I think that we've swung really far, and I'm okay with it. But I think how things work is that something has to happen before we go, okay, we got to just tweak things a little bit. Thoughts, boys, on that one?
I think it's. I mean, I don't know a ton about it.
Yeah,
but these companies are smart. They get themselves set up where they're in these places where laws are really, really loose, and it gives them the ability to kind of do what they want. So it's going to have to be like a worldwide set thing. No, it's not going to. You know what I mean? You can't just say, okay, in the U.S., because these companies will still hang their, they can hang their website on the internet, and they can be in some little island where they can do whatever the fuck they want. Yeah.
No, it's very valid point. Very, very valid point. You know, what UFC went and fought on that island just outside of Dubai there when COVID was happening, right? And apparently, boys, the fight between Paul and McGregor is going to happen in India. Right. So, and Johnny, to your point, there's so much, people have so much money now where it's the Ambini family. Apparently it's the Ambini family in India. I was like, yeah, hey, Marty, hey, Johnny, come fight for me. I'm going to go and drop some cash on the table and have you guys fight. That's quite fascinating to me. What do we got here? We got Scott Benzie dropping into the comments here. Good morning, Scott. I see you there, brother. Vulnerability. Yeah, that's that big V word, Scott. Vulnerability touches what you said before about being honest and honor your own words. Be true to yourself. If a man, it can man to yourself, but vulnerability and honor your own words and promise yourself. It's exactly it, Scott. You got to honor your word and be vulnerable to yourself first. But hey, boys, I've been working on something for a little while here, and I'm excited to reveal it today on the show here with you guys. I was going to send it to you last night, but I went to bed. I was like, no, I'll throw it to these guys this morning on the show. So as we know, we've spent the last year building out this morning show. So, since March for the most part, and it's free. The only free accountability platform you're going to find on the planet. It's free. Every single day, 2 hours in the morning, go hang out with myself, Johnny, Marty. If you guys don't join us, well, that's your own loss. It's a free accountability partner to help you reach your most audacious goals. But free doesn't build a business. So we got the league on the table and so forth, some higher end coaching programs available to us. We've also launched last night what we're calling is the Exchange. Jimmy, let's pull it up, man. Let's go through with the boys. So here's the Exchange. It is somebody's opportunity to join a brand new segment on the show. It's a pay-for-play segment on the show called The Exchange. It's a place where you can elevate your voice and expand your reach. What makes The Exchange different? I just got to find my tab here, boys, and what it's all about. So I invite you to think about The Exchange as a talk to the experts type segment where somebody can come on to, so Mornings in the Lab runs from 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock Eastern time. The Exchange is going to run from 10 till 11. It's going to be a segment of a new show where a participant can join the show and be interviewed by myself, and have the light shine exclusively on them. So let's go through it. So the exchange is about elevating your voice, transforming your message into a sustainable conversation that builds community, enhances authority, and drives ongoing engagement. What makes it different? This is the only live platform on LinkedIn. True. There's not one other person broadcasting live every single day on the platform. There's not one other company doing a live morning show on the platform. There's a lot of guys out there offering recording services, video services, record your video. I'm too busy to do video. Go hang out with that guy. No, we got the live conversation platform right here on the show, right here on Mornings in the Lab. So we're offering another segment to the program called The Exchange. Multi-phase. So we believe that conversation is built around dialogue, not a one-way broadcast, right? So participating in the exchange, we get your conversation started before your appearance. We get the conversation happening during the appearance, and then we continue the conversation post-appearance. We help you speak with intention. Listen, we don't talk just to talk on the exchange. You're paying for it. You're paying for the show. You're paying for your appearance. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, as well as an integrated community. Being part of the exchange, you're going to get a chance to not only broadcast and interact and message with the BAPL Mornings in the Lab community, but also your own community as well. There's 3 phases of exchange. As I said, you got pre-event, build up your appearance. Live event, you're on your own show. We're setting the stage. We're making you look good. Here's the thing, Jon and Marty. Most human beings are boring. Most human beings struggle to get their message out. Exactly. So what I'm saying is, hey, come with me, come with Marty, come with Jon. We're going to make you look good. We're going to make you make your message sound better than ever. We're going to help you create content that's going to help you move the needle in your business. So pre-event, build the anticipation. Live event, create the connection. And then post-event, keep it going. There's nobody else on the platform doing it, Marty and Johnny. Everybody's making content and then it goes away. It's post and ghost. It's broadcast. No. Listen, I'm dipping into what I learned in the moderation world. I grew a global business moderating live content. That's the past. I'm building the future around live conversation. We're all about creating dialogue, not content here in the exchange. There's 3 segments available to you guys. You got a 15-minute segment. You're going to get up to 10 one-minute shorts when you're done, full transcript, full raw videos. What do you use it for? I'm too busy to make videos. I'm too busy to build social content. Come on this 15-minute segment. When you're done, you're going to get at least 10 videos. Off you go. You're done for the month. Or you can buy a 30-minute segment. Maybe you want to do an AMA with your audience. Maybe you want to do an AMA with your team, an AMA with your stakeholders, an AMA with your customers. Or you can, of course, get to a 60-minute segment, just like the 60-minute segment I did with John Kraske a couple days ago, and a 60-minute segment series I got coming up with Seth Yakatan in January around the cannabis industry. And then here we go. Here's our pricing packages. You can get into the 15-minute appearances for as low as $400. You can sit down on the exchange, 15 minutes, get interviewed by myself, Marty, Johnny. Sit down, get interviewed, get a bunch of content, $400 be on your way. Don't have to, all you got to do is show up, Marty. You just show up, and then a couple hours later, you get a full suite of content that you can distribute across your social platforms that make you look like a superstar. So you got the quarter package, annual package, or single segment packages. Why do you want to choose the exchange? I told you guys before. There is not another live conversation and community company on the planet. Nope, it's us. 360 degrees, high value assets, and some scalable options. So what's the next steps? Book your package, book your slot. Come meet with me and let's get rocking and rolling and get you into the exchange, brand new segment. And here's the thing, nation, here's the plans. We're going to take what we make from this and reinvest it back into the morning show so we can keep giving you a free morning show to keep building this thing into the greatest, biggest morning show platform on the planet. But free doesn't build a business. So we're launching the exchange, a way for you to help grow this thing and a way for you to get something from us as we grow this entity called the exchange. Boys, thoughts, comments on the exchange rolling out here. And listen, guys, this is one of those things I was working on last night where I was so focused on perfection. And then I fucking walked over to the mirror and smacked myself in the face. I said, Bilous, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? What are you doing? Perfection never happens. You got to get it done through progress. So I said, fuck, I posted it. And I posted the business plan in public. I'm just going to let it fly as we go because too often we wait for perfection and then it never happens. So it's like, fuck it. Let's go. Boom. We're off there. So there you go. So we're making some cash, boys. Anybody? So it's as simple as this. It's a pay for play, talk to the experts. So you might be a coach. You might have a book you want to sell. You might have a coaching program you want to sell. You might want to get out your message to the public, but you don't know how to do it. You don't know how to start video. You don't know how to get in front of a camera. You don't know how to speak. Maybe you're boring. come sit down with myself for 50 minutes, 30 minutes, or even an hour. We'll create some great content, great conversation, get it out there for you guys. So there you go. That's the exchange. I'm excited to offer it and bullish on it. And I expect we're going to, I tell you guys, I'm looking to drive $500,000 to $1 million of revenue in the exchange next year. That's the plan. It's the plan. It's the plan. It's the plan. And there's nothing new about it. There's guys doing it right now on the platform, but they're doing it in the on-demand world, right? Sit down, get your video recorded. No, we're going to do it live. What we do here live on the show, and we do it really well.
Well, there you have it.
Sounds good, brother.
There you have it. That's how we're going to make some cash, boys. That's how we're going to make some cash. That's exactly how we're going to make some cash. So listen, okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to rock and roll over to the CMartyFit tip. And then we're going to come back and we're going to get into how to truly reinvent yourself, a step-by-step guide. Now, some of you guys that tune into the show all the time, some of this might be repetitive, but here's what I'm learning. The people that are new to us, they're like, who's Johnny? Who's Marty? Who's Keith? Why are they talking about reinventing themselves? We're going to tell you why coming up in a couple of minutes. But Jimmy, Marty, before we get to you, let's keep going through this list here. The next one, the other one on our list of most overrated NBA players as well, Marty, was Tracy McGrady, number 4. Comments on Tracy McGrady?
That's valid. You know, he's one of my favorite players, but that's valid. I'll give you that.
How about Dwight Howard? Dwight Howard was number 5.
That's trash. You know what though, man? They create narratives for a lot of great players, man.
Yes,
and it kind of ruins their career. You know.
Yes. You know,
Dwight Howard's last year in the league, he won a ring. You know. So how do you end your career on a high and now you're one of the most overrated players? I think that's
it. Sounds like a lot of this is based upon an expectation of what they should have done versus what they did.
Well, we talking about all Hall of Famers though. The only one who don't belong in that who was valid was Tracy McGrady. He wasn't Melo or AI or Dwight Howard. That's all I'm gonna say.
Good morning,
but Johnny can't argue with me. He don't know basketball. Got you, Johnny.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's what I'm saying. It seems like this whole conversation is kind of is like, you know, every once in a while, like saying that in any sport, you know, someone comes out of college and there's this expectation. And the expectation is sometimes greater than what's attainable for that person. And because the expectation was too big, they were a shitty player. In actuality, look at the stats, they're a fucking great player. They just didn't meet the expectation. Sounds like that's what's happening here.
I'll say this, you know, you kind of got a point, Johnny. I don't think it applies to these 3 out of the 4 specifically. But what I can say is you can create a narrative in the media. That's the problem with the media. Because if they wanted to create a narrative about Michael Jordan and ruin his career with the shit he did in the 90s, showing up to the games drunk, you know what I'm saying? They could have created a narrative.
100%. Yeah, totally. And in professional sports, what it comes down to is, you know, when they want you to maneuver and you don't do it, they find a reason to make you maneuver. And if you don't do it, then you lose something. You know, and in these guys' cases, you know, what they could lose was that, you know, they basically, I should say, they lost the sunshine over their heads and gained a dark cloud that followed them around because, like you said, they probably didn't do what they were supposed to do. So the NBA was, okay, motherfucker, then here you go.
I'll agree that there's room to criticize in their actual basketball performance. I'll give you that, opposed to like a Michael Jordan. I'll give you that.
But you could criticize anyone. You know what I mean? That's
exactly. Yep.
So, I mean, Michael Jordan, I mean, it was one of my favorite things with him, you know, is I use this little thing in my speeches when I say, look, Michael Jordan, he had the stat, not sure if he still has it, but at one point he had the stat for the most ever game-winning shots as a player in the NBA. But to achieve that, he also had to gain the stat of the most ever losing shots as an NBA player, which means that Michael clearly understood he had to fail more to succeed more, and that's what it came down to.
Yep, that's true.
I love stats like that, Johnny, because that very clearly articulates what you have to do to succeed, right? Because
he was willing to fail far more than anyone else.
Yes.
Now let's fast forward a couple years later. Similar, LeBron, you know, most game-winning shots in the game. And current players, right? But they'll bring up all of his misses, all of his turnovers and crucial moments and make it out to be like he's freaking terrible. You know what I mean? And there can't be a conversation.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
That's the way it's always going to be.
That's
brother.
what I'm saying. It's just the narratives. That's all this list is. This list is straight. One of the guys Keith brought up, Russell Westbrook. He has the most triple doubles out of anybody.
It's the armchair quarterbacks. If I'm talking to someone, they say, like in the strength world, or how many international contests you win? I was like, one, and I'm proud of that. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about. Just to compete at that fucking level. Even if I didn't have a win, I'm proud for competing at that level.
You're right.
I'm sorry. You're like, no, there's no fucking reason to be sorry.
And forgive me. It might not be they might not say I'm sorry, but that's the vibe. They're like, oh, but what the fuck, man? Jesus Christ. Just exist in there. Just getting to the NBA, just getting to the NFL, just getting to these high level fucking arenas, so to speak, is a feat that puts you in like a fraction of a percentage of human beings.
Yep, I agree.
Oh, man, that's it's always fun to debate who's good, who's not. It's just those questions that
I love it. Yeah,
I agree, and I'm finding it even more entertaining. So I was having this conversation with actually OG yesterday, Marty Maurice, and I'm very confident with my AI tools. I'm great with Perplexity, great with GPT. So we're going to keep weaving these things into the show because it's fun. Because it was like, hey, who are the most overrated players? Because it drives conversation. Because this is just full of knowledge over the last many years of debate and context, right? So it's interesting, right? So it's like,
forget NBA players. You talk about anybody who's achieved greatness.
Yes,
there's going to be the people on the other side throwing fucking turds.
Yeah. I know. What I'm going to have to do here later today is I'm going to do a little. We're going to have some fun next week, Marty. Who are the most overrated strongmen in the world? We'll see where Jon Andersen shows up.
Johnny's gonna love that.
It's a different community though, and here's the thing, because it's still a brotherhood. It hasn't reached that level where you get like critics coming from the outside. Critics coming from the outside would be run out of fucking town. That makes sense.
Because that's great.
It's still too much, but keep in mind, nobody's making $25 million from strongman yet. I mean, the money's getting a lot better, but once you start getting that shit, now you're going to attract all the fucking, because as soon as you got some motherfucker who is jealous of not only what they can't do, but what they can't make, now the calling card's out.
Marty, Jimmy, before we go to Marty's check-in here in a second, I crack some humor with Marty here. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of like the moment behind the moment, but then go even deeper in that. I still can't get my head wrapped around. Like, there's just a few dudes in America, if you went into their garage, like have a 300 or 400 pound stone. And you'd walk into that garage, Marty, you'd be like, oh, what's that over there? Oh, it's a 300 pound, 400 pound stone. I used to pick it up for a living. What? Yeah,
it's actually the strongman community has grown so much. I would venture to say, God, I could be way off on this, but there's tens of thousands, maybe 20, 30, 40,000. No, maybe not that much. Well, fuck, I don't know. Tens of thousands for sure.
Is that
people,
right? Eh?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's competitions every weekend somewhere, sometimes more than one.
I find it fascinating because Johnny, it's just so innocuous. It's not baseball, it's not basketball, it's not the regular sports. It's a dude picking up the biggest fucking stone ever. So two things come to mind: A, you're picking up; B, who made the stone, and then C, where did you get the materials to make the stone? Like, who has the cast, Johnny? Like, what kind of
you gotta buy the cast. I had a cast.
Did you really, to make a stone?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I had a cast. And once you see, the best part about it is once you actually make some progress and you have like the cast, people are fucking asking, "Can I make that for you?"
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make that for me.
So where did you get the cast from, Johnny? Did you go to China to get the cast?
No, there's actually a few places there's a few specialty equipment makers, that do it. I mean, back when I was in, it was fucking difficult to find because everything was so fresh. The internet wasn't like it is now. So you were kind of networking to people who, like there was a dude, he still makes equipment, Steve Slater.
Yeah.
And he had his family had it was somewhere in Ohio, had a hardware store.
Yeah.
And he would sell this shit out of the back. It was like a little segment of the store, you know?
Well, that just fascinates me. Like I love those. Like that's where my nerdy curiosity comes in, where it's like, who's making the cast? Where you getting the, like, you know, I just find all.
Well, check this out. So here's how my strength career. When I say now, I'm talking strongman. I've been training. I was fucking cock strong, but I decided, okay, I'm going to do this shit. And there's nobody around. I mean, I'm not even a part of the community yet. I have no fucking clue. So all I'm doing is I'm just watching the fucking television, and I got to get this shit and I got to house it somewhere. So I had a buddy of mine who had a piece of land, about 30 minutes away from where I lived. Yeah. And it was fucking grass up to your fucking tits. Yeah. So I went out there with a goddamn old-fashioned sling blade and knocked all this fucking grass down like a 100 by 100 foot place. Yeah. And I started having equipment had fucking tires delivered, had stones made and delivered. Jeez. I was literally training a fucking dirt field by myself. I mean, I show up to my first competition and I get to know guys and they're like, yeah, where do you train? I'm like, I just started, man. Well, what do you train in your garage? Actually, I train a dirt field. They're like, you're doing this in the dirt? And I was like, I'm wearing fucking like football cleats because I can't get traction flipping a tire in the dirt. But I mean, when you want it, you want it. I mean, that's literally, I was out there fucking by myself in sweltering fucking heat, teaching myself to flip tires and lift fucking stones.
Yeah, that's funny shit, man. All right, Marty, let's get to the fit tip.
Let's do it, man.
We're going to come back and talk a little bit about how to truly reinvent yourself. And then Jory Jans is going to join us here, or visit some 2024 fitness wellness stuff with Jory. We're going to surprise her. Let's get after it, Marty.
Man. Let's get after it, man. Keith, get off the screen, man. This is my time, Keith. No, I'm playing. But all right, we got the fitness tip for today. And listen, it's simple. All right, this is going to change your perspective on your fitness journey. If you are not getting results, if you're obese, if you're staying in the same place, if you're neglecting your fitness, you're privileged. Yeah, that's what I said. You're privileged. Now, why do I say that? Let's really think about it. You're not hitting the gym. You're not spending your money on a gym membership. You're not spending your money on a personal trainer. You're not spending your money on clean food. You're not investing into your health journey. So what are you spending your money on? Going to fast food places, privilege. Overeating, privilege. Desserts, privilege. Going to the bar, drinking alcohol every weekend, privilege. Right? You have to change your mindset and realize that you're putting the effort in that's adding to the place where you don't want to be. Right? You don't want to be 20, 30, 40 pounds overweight, but you're spending money and investing in that opposed to investing in your health. That right there, fellas and ladies, if you're listening, that is a privilege. It's not a place where you have to be stuck. You're not forced to be there. You're not helpless. We got YouTube. We got TikTok. We got Instagram. We got Google. We got all these outlets for you to help yourself. But you just got to put the effort in and invest the time, the energy, and the money to get to this place. So remember that when you're being stagnant, when you're not making progress, when you're going the wrong way in the direction you don't want to be in, it's a privilege. And stop doing that privilege. Get your ass up. Let's get to work. That's the fitness tip for today.
Oh, I like that, Marty. Privilege is a funny word, isn't it, Marty? Because we think of privilege very differently than how you presented it. So I welcome that point of view on it, man. I like that a lot.
Yep.
Those that wake up and ask themselves, why am I feeling this way?
Yep. Yeah. You're adding to it, man. We don't realize that the steps we take, like the result, our body is a result of the steps we took to get there.
Yes.
Right. You don't just happen to be overweight. It doesn't happen accidentally,
Oh, you don't?
Yeah, you'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised. A lot of people don't believe it, but that's the truth. It's the truth, man.
All right, listen. Let's. So our big topic of today was we got Jory Jansen joining us here in about 5 or 6 minutes or so. I want to sit down with you guys and get into this for a few moments.
I'll be right back. I gotta take a quick break. I'll be right back in a second.
For it, Marty. Yeah. Yep. So Johnny, let's keep the conversation going about how to reinvent yourself, step-by-step instructions here. And I got a little segment I wanted to lean to. And some of this sounds pretty basic, but again, the ambition with this show is dropping words, dropping nuggets that prompt somebody to finally go, all right, I'm hearing Andersen say that. It's time to get off my ass. All right, Bilous has been saying this for months. I guess I need to go. Right. And that first step, Johnny, on how to reinvent oneself, because you have reinvented yourself many, many times. I've just spent this last year reinventing myself. I'm excited to go into 2025. That first step, Johnny, is all about self-reflection and awareness, isn't it? It's just going, holy smokes, this is not this version of Johnny is not sustainable. I need to look in the mirror and do some reinvention. Talk a little bit about having that self-reflection and awareness, Johnny.
You know, I think it comes from both sides of that fence because, you know, when I guess, how would I say, like, you know, when I was maneuvering through my different ventures, I was growing into them. That makes sense. So, so I just felt like there was another step for me. Now, keep in mind, you know, like when I was done with wrestling, I wasn't choosing to leave that left me. It just basically once I didn't get recontracted, that was it. I moved on. So that was kind of me, you know, more of what you're talking about, where you have to kind of decide, okay, what am I going to do now? This part of my life is over. And, you know, but I think for me, it was easy only because I knew what my passion was and had been my whole life. And I just wanted to find a way to keep monetizing it. It was that simple.
What I find interesting in your situation, Johnny, is I guess in many ways mine too. Somebody made the decision for you, right? They didn't recontract you. You're like, oh, I guess if I'm not getting a contract, that means I'm done. And it's a very finite somebody else making that decision on your behalf, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not easy.
No, I'm sure it's not. The next one in terms of how to reinvent yourself, gentlemen, is defining your vision. Johnny, there's guys waking up, ending the year right now, stressed, going to the Christmas holidays, thinking and going, oh my God, I've had a shitty year. I don't know what 2025 is going to bring. I want to do something. I'm stuck. I'm feeling fat. I got to go talk to Andersen about losing some weight, developing some good habits. But once you've reflected and created that awareness, you got to get up and look towards what your vision is going to be. And I shared my vision a few moments ago with the exchange. We're starting to make some money here in the lab. So it's this idea of create a clear picture of who you want to become. John, and
that's it. I think when it comes down to it, and that's actually one of my lifestyle tips going to be about, is what do you want? If you line 100 people up on the street and said, what do you want? They wouldn't have a clear answer for you. No, and that's the problem. If you don't, if you don't know, like you have to clearly know what you're going to do. You know, you don't go into a movie theater until you've decided which movie you're going to watch.
I'm laughing because that is the simplest example, but it's so true, right? Like it's actually so.
I'm going to go to the movies. What are you going to watch? I don't know. Well, fucking figure it out and go to the movie.
Yeah, you actually never do that. Not a human ever does that. You always make the decision. You buy your ticket. You go to the theater. You get in the theater. You know, I like that analogy. Actually, that's a really good
and that's the difference between you know, I want to be X, right? Well, X is not enough of a description to be clear on what you want to do. X is like, okay, I'm moving that direction. Okay, what is it about that direction that you want? Define that. You know, what does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like?
Well, and to me, part of the problem, Johnny, is you use the word want, right? There's a lot of people that want, but then don't know how to connect with after want, which is how to get to.
Well, and then the really fucking terrible part about the want is they spend all their fucking wants on immediate pleasure. And if you're spending all of your fucking wants today, you're not going to get your wants later.
Yes.
You got to decide. Your wants are going to come. You can have them when you want to. The question is, you're going to keep your wants on fucking candy bars, or are you going to keep your wants on a better life for your family?
Well, I'm glad you raised that, because a year ago I wanted a lot of things for this show, but I knew that I needed to put the time in to get to where we are today, so that we can continue building the foundation for the next 12 months, because my wants are massive. And my wants weren't going to be satisfied 12 months ago. So you're right, Johnny. It's about delaying that gratification, right? And getting on with it. All right, we're going to get the lifestyle tip here in just a minute. I want to continue this. We're going to get the third one, then we'll continue throughout the rest of the show here. Setting clear and achievable goals. So again, you're going to move from self-reflection and awareness to defining your vision, and then literally setting some achievable goals. I'm the first person from time to time setting goals that, maybe aren't achievable, but I'm also a big fan of that as well, because if you don't push yourself, you're always going to set the bar too low. And that's one thing I'm a fan of Elon, which is like, no, we're going to be in a year from now, even though it's going to take 10. Humans always will shoot low. Always will shoot low. It's natural because we're scared to walk towards failure. Right. So
I like that, man.
Certain humans.
Yes. Yeah. Marty.
I was going to say, if you think about anybody that's great, they didn't get great accidentally, and they believed they were great before they became great. Before everyone else recognized them as great.
Yes,
you got to think you're the man before somebody else think I'm the man. You
have to.
Johnny Anderson thought he was the man when he was the fat little son of a, and Keith thought he was the man when he was working at the cell phone store before ICUC. So that's how you got to look at it.
Because if you don't, who's going to? Just like we said before, if you're not going to promote yourself, nobody else is promoting you. Right. Yep. So that's exactly it. Rick Cody, I see you there, brother. Inch by inch, anything's a cinch. Progress daily, not perfection. Exactly, Rick, which is why yesterday, hey, Rick, you saw a package I dropped you after on the show. We just launched the exchange last night, our paid program, which is the extra, the add-on program here, which is exactly about perfection. I'm sorry, progress, not perfection here. So, but Johnny, let's get to, we're gonna keep the show going after our segment with Jon Andersen around how to truly invent yourself, a step-by-step guide. But before we do that, we want to do this with Jon Andersen, so we can bring and see what Jory has to say. Johnny, get after it, brother.
Ask yourself a question: what do you want? Most people, unfortunately, don't know. So the first step in getting the life that you're after, achieving the goals that you truly want to achieve, is to understand very clearly what you want. What does it look like? What does it smell like? How does it feel? Then write that shit down. Because when you write down what you want, you're one step closer to actually getting it. Write it down and then write the steps that you're going to put into play to go get that shit. But the first step is having a clear understanding of what it is you want. Rock and roll.
What do you want? Write it down and get after it. Not rocket science. Nope, not rocket science. No, you just got to write it down. Write it down and get after it. Speaking of writing it down and getting after it, we have the GOAT joining us right now in the lab here. We got Jon Andersen hanging out with us. What's going on, Jory?
Well, I am here. That's what's going on.
I love it. I love it. Jory and I connected late last night for a couple minutes. We had a little quick check-in on a few things, and we had some laughter about next week. Jory's like, so what are you guys' plans for the lab next week? I said, well, I got to get up anyways, so I'm going to be here. Like, I'm waking up. So, and my brand is about waking up. So regardless if it's Christmas morning, January morning, I'm going to be here. So we'll be here. And I said to Jory, he said, no obligations for Jory or any of our guests. You guys have family and do that shit. And she's like, but my twin sister might be here. I'm like, oh. We might have to have the Jory twin sister Jon Andersen show here. That might be some fun if Jory and her twin sister show up. What that would all do for us.
She's spicy.
So I thought, so Jory, I'm surprising you. I didn't throw you nothing this morning. I thought I'd keep it light and fun. I got something on the table here, which is where's my notes here? Which was where are my notes? I pulled up 2024 nutrition trends. We're always, as the years wrap up, we look back, we look forward, and we're going to getting into what's happening in 2025. But let's spend the next 10 minutes talking about your world, Jory, things that started in January that are kind of dismissed by December, or let's just talk about things like, for example, 2024 had a lot of emphasis placed on, longevity-inspired diets or gut health and the microbiome and hydration, functional beverages, and personalized nutrition. Jory, where do you want to start with some of the trends you saw? Were just trends, fads? What are people talking to you about? And then let's go around. Maybe some things that Marty's hearing or Johnny's hearing. But Jory, let's start the conversation off with you. 2024 nutrition trends that you think are a joke or you think are great or so forth. What are you thinking?
Well, I don't think any of them are a joke. I think that they're deep-rooted in a hope of creating something that people are really wanting to work towards.
Yeah.
So, to me, like I could do some eye rolls, or I could be present and be like, okay, why are people so, attached to what is new and flashy?
Yeah.
And at the end of them, it's like anyone that has like a deep rooted faith, and there's always a truth to every faith that's different than yours. It all stems from the same sort of platform, and then
The
it's
roots, the roots are
Right.
what's underground is basically the same. It's what's
Yeah.
above ground that we can see is really different.
So that's how I look at any sort of diet trends. And so to me, it's more of who is looking at the diet trends more than anything. And so if I'm looking at, 18 years old and younger, which is a different population than listening to this show, that's a little bit more, not alarming to me, but a little bit more of, I need to make sure that I'm chatting with these humans so that they set themselves up on the right track. In terms of who we all are, as adults moving forward, there's so many different ones, but the outcome that's desired is all the same: a better version of you, a healthier version of you, a better looking version of you, whatever that might be. So whether it's intermittent fasting, that still is around. I don't think that will go away, and I'm okay with that, as we've spoken in past shows. Why? It's your why. I see some diet trends around food avoidances like whole food group categories. And again, if it's, a religious, faith-based allergy, whatever, absolutely. But I just think that we can get so overconsumed with trends that we forget the purpose. And the purpose is just to be a better version for ourselves so we can be present and enjoy life.
I think the biggest challenge with trends, Jory, Marty, and Johnny, is that somebody can just continually chase them.
Yeah.
But if you're not placing your chase underneath if you're not chasing based on values, you're just going to simply pivot from, Atkins diet to intermittent fat. You're just going to keep chasing the next trend, right? Yeah. So, Marty,
and I think, but too, is on that level is that people are tending to chase that fad or that whatever you want to call it, that diet to lose weight or look a certain way. But what they're not recognizing is that's not going to make them feel a way that they're going to want to maintain.
Yes.
So if they put, people tell, you're going to look great. Well, how are you going to feel? Because you're not going to feel like shit for the rest of your life. At some point, every creature will say, I don't give a shit how I look. I'm not doing that shit again tomorrow. And so I always say to my clients, look, the way you look follows the way you feel. All I want to hear about in the first week, how you feel. I don't want to hear about scale. I don't want to hear about anything. I want to hear, how do you feel?
Go ahead, Marty. Marty, please.
I was going to say it kind of taps into what I was talking about in the fit tip when it comes to your mindset and your perspective, right? A lot of people, like, this is an example. People be like, oh, yeah, I don't want to starve myself. Okay. This is not starving yourself because you're eating less of something, right? You can still satisfy your hunger without eating nonstop and just feeling super full, right? That's not starving yourself, right? It's eating a little bit smarter. So just changing your mindset towards what you're doing.
Brother, and check this out. And this is primarily an American problem. I serve America, Canada, UK, and Australia. And Americans, I have to have this conversation with them. And it's literally like, listen, I need you to understand, let's define full, okay? Because what happens is they eat until they're like borderline in pain, a stretch in the stomach. And as soon as that goes away, they're not full. They think they're hungry. So let's just get real clear here. Hungry is different than not full. We don't want you to be full. When you've got a pain, that's your body saying, hey, dipshit, stop this, right? So in America, unfortunately, people think if they're not full, they're hungry. And they're probably 2 hours away from their stomach starting to actually move around a little bit with the early signs of true hunger.
And my bad, Keith.
No,
I got Edison.
Yeah.
When you really look at how many calories you're eating, all of a sudden you ain't hungry no more. When you see that you're sitting down eating 2,500 calories in one sitting, oh yeah, I'm not that hungry anymore. I'm good. So that adds to it as well.
When I was in the first part of my journey, when food had a hold of me, if I saw that, if I calculated the 2,500, I was like, well, fuck, I'm off the deep end now. I better just keep going.
Well, that's just it. And I wanted to get into that because, Jory, one of the things that, I've learned from hanging out with Johnny and Marty, but especially Johnny, and I'm curious to get your opinion on this. He very much leans into the concept of feeling because it's tangible, isn't it? Because I know how I feel when I overeat, or I know how I feel when I'm sitting around with like a big fat gut on the couch. And who likes to feel that way? But I find I'll use the word our. I feel like in our industry here, we don't talk enough about the feeling, Jory.
Yeah,
because feelings don't sell. The scale or a before and after where someone has suffered sells. They don't talk about how they felt to get there in many cases.
Yeah, Jory.
Yeah, I think it's a combination.
Yeah.
It's and I think I've mentioned this before. So it's getting in tune with you. So what are your wants?
Yes.
What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? And when you jump on any one of those three too soon, you might be missing something in terms of the connection to you and how you want to show up. And so, like for me, as I've mentioned, I'm very wants and feelings oriented.
Yes.
I can make a very quick emotional response, which may not be the best decision in the moment. Whereas someone is thoughts and feelings oriented, they'll feel something, but they're also going to think it through.
Yes.
And they're going to weigh it out a little bit more. But if you sit too long in the overthinking, you've kind of lost the moment. So there's pros and cons. The biggest one is having your intention. I think is really, really important. But yeah, you need to know, like, what is the feeling? Emotions do sell.
Oh.
That's the sales. That's the marketing. Is
yes.
Get the potential client to feel a response to a call to action.
Yes.
And then it's understanding, what does that call to action really mean? And I do appreciate the fact that, yeah, you want to everything's an experience. So what you're feeling, and if your experience is something positive or negative, that's going to be a reminder of what you want to do and who you want to be. And yeah, sitting on the couch feeling, unfit, feeling however you might be feeling, that's great. Be in tune with that. And then what is it that you want to do? So that way you can feel a different way.
Yeah.
So I think it's a process for sure. One of the things I talked to some young ladies last night through our cook and chat with Jory was that we looked at, plate versus platter. And I pulled out my dinner plate, and then I pulled out the salad plate, and the salad plate is really the dinner plate, right? And so I said, it's not that I don't want you eating enough. That is not the case. I don't want you to not eat enough. I don't want you to overeat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right? So just being able to see the difference that a lot of times when we're showing up, it's a platter that we're now serving off of versus a dinner plate.
Right. The psychology of it, right? The psychology what your eyes are seeing, right? So
and you tell someone to eat with their offhand. If they're uncoordinated hand, it slows them down enough that the signals will actually get from the brain to the stomach and the stomach to the brain and tell the person, hey, you've had enough, dipshit. Put the fork down.
Right. Well,
Johnny got all these old school ways.
You take a bite, put the utensils down, or if it's a hand food, put it down and just, chew, count to the 20 or 30. The boogeyman is not going to take your food on you. It's going to be there when you're done.
He's not. Marty, I'm a switch hitter, man. I'm left and right. So tonight I'm eating my food with my left foot. I'm going to take a page out of Johnny's.
Well, then if you're that good with it, you got to use the wrong utensil. If you're supposed to be using a fork, you got to use a spoon, and vice versa.
Rick Clody's got a question here for you, Jory. Do you believe that building momentum with small initial wins that are achievable are a good approach to diet, training, and everything? I think the answer is probably quite obvious, but what's your opinion on that, Joy?
Well, it's obvious, but it's not necessarily easy. It's a simple process, but it's not easy, right?
Yes.
So absolutely. And a lot of times what I'll show is a timeline for a meal plan of where someone's going to start, and it looks very busy. You've got your breakfast, your snack, your lunch, your training when that's happening, all that kind of stuff. And it looks very busy. So then I put up the next slide, and it's one meal or snack in the day. It's not that they're not eating and hydrating the rest of the day.
Yes.
But this is the one that they're going to focus on today, that they're going to feel really accomplished and successful, moving from good to optimal to optimized.
Right.
And everyone wants to be optimized. So it depends on where you are and where you're at. But for most people that I've been working with, once I show them, I clear the space and I show them one simple thing that I want them to do this week, their shoulders relax. They're like, okay, I got it.
Because they can achieve it, right? So
Yeah.
and I love Rick Cloda's comment here, right? Because it's so true. Johnny, you're going to love this too. We talk about pleasure over purpose. The term comfort food is misleading because visualizing the comfort of feeling better after good food choices is more comfortable. But
100%.
Yeah.
It's the shit that we call comfort food is fucking stress food.
It's true, and it's wrecking us, right? It's like, oh, I'm gonna go some comfort food. I'm gonna crush some Big Macs and some Doritos, and then 30 minutes later, I'm gonna feel like a piece of shit. That's exactly how it goes for most of us.
Well, you know what's fucking crazy is there are a whole breed of people out there who have survived on processed foods so long and so consistently. When they do have real whole foods, they don't have a palate for it. They're like, that doesn't taste good to me.
I believe it. I believe
It's
it.
unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I want to speak tactically here. Jory and I live in a country, in a province where we unfortunately have some folks in our northern populations where it is cheaper to buy a 2 liter of Coke or a sugar beverage than it is water, or it's cheaper to buy some of the shitty foods, right, Jory? Than
in America too.
Healthy foods. I know, Marty.
You see my skin color?
Yeah.
So my neighborhoods too.
Yeah, right. So where we know it's cheaper to buy that stuff, and then John, Jory, when we approach our friends with healthy whole foods, it's like, oh, I don't want to have that. And then we look at the health crisis, and it's just a perpetual unfortunate circumstance, right? So
it's tough, man.
It is tough. It's and it's not getting. You look at shrinkflation. You buy something you bought a year ago, and you're like, oh, there's not as much in the box as there was yesterday, or this tomato is not as big as it was yesterday. It's all quite different. So, okay, well, listen, we're kind of wrapped up some 2024 trends here with Jory Jansen. What I'm suspecting is going to happen is we're going to wrap up our segment with Jory here today for the. Jory got one here for you, another one from Scott. I'm telling you, Jory, folks love this segment with you because there's questions always coming. Is it better to, I know we're going to get two different answers, and I love this one. Is it better to eat every 4 to 6 hours or eat when the stomach starts to cause some discomfort? John, you first, Jory second. Johnny, because I know you have a different point of view on this.
Well, it's too vague of a question. I can't answer that question without more information. What's he trying to achieve? What's his purpose?
Good answer. Good answer. So if Scott's going to answer that, Jory, what's your thoughts on eating every 4 to 6, or is the same response, I need more information, or a combination of all the above?
Well, if you're eating really big meals every 4 to 6 hours, that's probably pretty good. If you're eating smaller meals or more snack size, you're wired to be a grazer, then you're probably going to need to eat more frequently. And then it depends on so if I'm working with someone that has a training schedule or they're dancing 6 to 8 hours a day, that's going to be completely different too. So John's right. We need more information, but I would say, what's working for you? What's keeping you energized? What's keeping you getting to the destination of making progress to where you want to be physically, emotionally, all of those sort of things. So I think there's more than one way to get to a destination. It's figuring out what's great for you.
Yeah, and Scott's answer is lose weight, right? And small meals. And I think we know at this point in the year. And here's where Johnny and Marty, Jory, my goal here is as we head into December and into the maybe first 6 to 8 weeks of the year, is I really want to have conscious conversation around lose weight or change body composition. Because folks, I almost like I have a mission. Because we got to lose weight. No, you might want to change your body composition and maybe what you're looking to do. But yet we always just want to lose weight when that might not always be the answer, right? And I want to really focus on educating folks on the difference, right? Because there's the Jared Gleaton approach, which Shake and Jared lost 170 pounds, came and talked about it on the show, right? Did calorie deficits and lost weight, probably lost muscle mass as well, or it's losing body fat and being lean. Johnny.
I just had a guy that just finished yesterday.
Yeah.
And in 6 months, he lost like less than 5 pounds, but he dropped 4 pant sizes.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's full of energy, sleeps better, he's happy, he's optimistic. We basically just changed his shape.
Changed his shape.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize too, in the fitness world, there's less emphasis on the scale nowadays.
That's the way it should be. Finally, people are starting to listen.
Exactly.
Is that true, you guys? Is that right, eh? Yeah.
That's what it should be.
I get a lot of clients now. They're like, Jory, the weight the number on the scale doesn't really bother me.
Oh, I like
and then they go to, as John alludes to, it's how I feel. I want to feel like whatever, right? So I do see that in especially my more mature populations. They understand it's more than just the number on the scale, and it's even more than just body composition.
And I'm hoping it's, and I get my honesty, I'll take my glass off for this one. I hope it's happening more with the female population too, right? Because the female population is so focused on the scale where it's like, well, hold on, honey, we want you to be strong so you can live a long time, have some muscles. No, you're not going to turn into Jon Andersen because you're lifting weight, right? So I like this idea. Hopefully people are moving away from what the number is to how you feel and how you maybe look.
Well, I mean, we were taught. I mean, look at Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig's. These are basically calorie restriction scenarios where the scale that's the primary source of progress. You know, and it's like you're counting this and you're subbing that, but it's all comes down to a calorie deficit. And if you're on a calorie deficit, watching the scale is really your metric because your body's just losing weight, muscle and fat together. You're going to get to that weight. You're going to look in the mirror and you're going to go, God damn it, I still look like shit. What happened? Well, that's because your body chewed up a bunch of the tissue that actually gives you the shape you're looking for.
Yeah. There you go. And Rick Cody coming in, percentage of muscle versus fat and amount of energy and vitality is key. Same weight with less fat and more muscle is better quality life. You're bang on with that, Rick. You're absolutely bang on. All right, Joy. Well, listen, my friend, I want to I want to invite you to get on with your day. It's Friday. It's still cold here in Manitoba. We're kind of wrapping up our Christmas holiday stuff. What do you got on the agenda today for yourself and your family before you work your way into the Christmas holidays next week?
Well, I actually have to head out. I got to get to the performance labs. We're doing some lactate testing on one of our cyclists that's heading out to France for his training. So we've got to head out into the cold, but it'll be okay. I'll dress warm.
Awesome. Well, listen, I appreciate you. I appreciate all you contributed to the show through 2024 and excited to continue our discussion and working with you as we go into 2025. And listen, maybe we see you next week, maybe we don't. But like I said to you last night, no obligations. Spend time with the family. If you want to bring the coffee mug, you know where we are. Come knock on my door. We'll hang out and we'll have some fun conversation, as always, with Jory Jansen, our GOAT. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Jory.
Maybe with my sidekick.
Yeah.
Yes, hope so.
Yeah.
Are you guys fraternal or are you identical?
We are fraternal, but people tell us that we're wrong and they say that we're identical.
Ah,
I don't know. But my mom and all 5 of her sisters all look the same. So, you know.
Maybe all the reason we got, what's her name, Joy?
Michelle.
Maybe all the reason we need to meet Michelle next week. Right. Maybe, yeah. You're like, Jory's gonna be like, Michelle, I hang out with these guys every few days throughout the week. And it's kind of an odd experience, but I really need you to have a taste of it. You got
to have Michelle show up as you and see if we can tell.
That would be funny.
We've done that
before. Something's off.
That's good. All right, Jory, get after it. Stay warm, okay? I appreciate you.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Jory.
Okay, take care, Jory. Yeah, we had a good chat last night. We had some fun. I was talking to her about the show and a few other things, and she's Johnny Marty, huge fan, man. She's like, man, I started with you guys. I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't know how it's all going to go. And she's like, it's fun. I go, I know it's fun. She says to me, Marty, she goes, I feel like John and I are saying the exact same thing all the time, except it's delivered completely different. I go, you guys are. I love it because you guys can be on each side of the stadium. You're delivering the exact same message. By the time Keith and Marty get to the middle, it's the same message that's got there differently. I love it because it's you got Jory's science approach, and then you got John's fuck. I ate the egg with the shells. I know what it feels like.
Yeah.
Right. So
it's right. It's the in the trench, versus the scientific study perspectives.
Yes. Yeah. I got to tell you, man, I know, Marty, you got to rock and roll just quickly before you do go. I have one thing I've really taken a lot of our relationship as we've grown the show together, guys, is this the idea of leaning into feelings and not feelings of emotion, but feelings around food. Because I don't think we talk about that enough in this industry. Right. I just don't. And I think there's something to be said for that, which is, you're going to feel shitty if you keep eating that. Oh yeah. Right. The feeling side of things. Right.
When you get a grip of the feeling, then you could play the card a little earlier. You could say, okay, how am I going to feel when I'm done with this?
Yes.
And that's the one right there where, okay, I'm going to feel, I don't know if I want to feel that way. Is this really that important? No.
Well, Johnny, and I've been using that through my morning runs here, right? Because I hate them. This morning I was not wanting to do it. And I was
you what them?
I hate I dislike my
There
morning.
we go, baby. There we go. We're learning. We're learning.
So this morning, I'm like, I dislike this, but I know how I'm going to feel when I'm done. And I felt incredible. Marty, I know you got to rock and roll, brother. What's on the agenda today, pal?
Gonna coach some people. I was just fussing out one of my clients. She just got on the scale, so it's ironic that we talked about it. That's why I was kind of just in my zone.
We're giving her shit.
And then I got to freaking argue with people who don't want to put their freaking weights back at the gym, man. So,
brother, I was one of those people,
Crazy,
brother.
man.
I was one of those people. I gotta say, man, my gym etiquette was fucking terrible.
Yeah, but well, you know what?
That's bad, man.
I agree. I saw a good comment on Instagram here last week where some guy was calling out, if you don't put your gym weights away, I think it says a lot about your character.
Well, but you see, the thing with me is it got to the point where my crew would clean up after me, right?
Marty.
And so it was, so to a certain extent, there would be times where I might be like, you know, I'm on a timeline and someone didn't show up and I'm like, fuck, I got to go pick up my daughter, you know, from preschool or first grade or whatever, you know, and when I walk, granted, you know, I'd walk away from the bar, but keep in mind, everybody kind of understood what was going on. And even the kids that worked at the front desk were happy to clean that shit up because they knew what I was doing.
Marty, his crew.
Yeah, well, I got these little girls that work there. One is an older lady. The one is like a younger girl. She can't pick that shit up. So I got to pick the shit up. So I got to argue with the guys. And I got to turn to an asshole.
Johnny, that's Marty's crew. The little girls in the gym with him, they're picking the shit up. They can't pick the shit up.
Yeah. So hire some guys.
What was so funny about a crew, Keith?
Well, I just, because I love the idea of your crew, like just like it's like your entourage, because I can imagine, because I got this vision in my head of John's entourage, right? Like it's, you got your entourage around you helping you achieve shit, because when you're moving mountains, you have to have an entourage around you.
Yeah, we had a pretty good group. I mean, and you know, it was like, you know, I was the fearless leader. So like when I would show up into like our training facility, everything would be unpacked and you could hear everybody talking. And I'd walk in and it'd just get fucking silent like the teacher walked in.
I mean, and I love that, man, because like, Johnny's walked in. And then the parting of the seas.
Terry used to love that. She was like, she goes, I absolutely love when you walked in there, it was silent. She said that was actually like a huge turn on for her.
Oh, there you go. I like it.
Here we go. And then it's Terry time after. That's why I fucking left the weights there, because it's fucking Terry time after the last rep.
That's it.
Marty knows that Johnny knows that if he's leaving the weight there, he's gonna get action because the chest is out and he's like, oh yeah, there's the hero. Speaking of hero, boys, Marty, Johnny, did you see the brand new trailer for Superman drop last night by James Gunn? Ooh, it's a big one. And Johnny, look at you.
I gotta check that out.
I'm looking at my same age brother here, Johnny. We grew up with Superman and our old Christopher Reeve Superman. This Superman might kind of be harking back to the one you and I grew up with, brother. I would encourage you to check that trailer out today. It's quite neat.
Oh, did you check out the new Penguin show? Because you know I'm a Batman guy.
Yes, with Colin Farrell.
Crazy.
Awesome.
Fucking crazy. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Okay. I gotta get out of here, guys. I can talk to y'all all day, man.
All right, have a good look, brother.
I see y'all Monday, man.
You betcha, brother. You betcha. Johnny, you gotta go for a piss?
Yeah, good. Let me have a piss now and I'll make it to the end.
You go for a piss? Yeah. I'm gonna bring the bagpipes out. What's up, Clody? All right, I gotta itch your nose. Gotta scratch it. You know, I haven't had a chance to look at I think Jimmy might be texting me behind the scenes here, but Jimmy, I just forgot my texting here on the side. Let's see if I got any notes from you here. You're like, why is Keith not talking to me? Let's see here. No, he's not talking to me. Good, there you go. Yeah, no, he has been. He's been trying to keep me accountable to my show times, and I have been sucking today on the Friday. We're having some fun here. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. What's going on, Rick Clody? What's going on, Scott Benzie? What's going on there? Good time if you're still hanging out. Good morning, everybody. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. The only morning show to get your ass out of bed. I invite you to subscribe to this channel, like the channel, tell your friends all about it. We are going here 8 o'clock Eastern time throughout the holiday season into next year. We're not going away. Somebody said to me, hey, you're going to be around during the holidays? I said, well, what, am I dying? Like, they looked at me like, well, what do you mean? Are you dying? I'm like, well, I got to get up. Like, well, yeah, but you're going to get up for the show? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to grab my coffee. I'm going to come down here. I might be a little less prepared over the next couple of weeks because I might spend a little extra time in bed, or maybe spend a little extra time in the gym, or spend a little extra time crushing some food, right, Clody? But I'm still going to be here. Why not? Because you guys are going to be here. I'm suspecting there's folks that still need accountability partners throughout the season, throughout the holiday season. So we're going to give them what they want. We're going to give them the accountability partner. All right. So listen, we kicked off the show today, Jimmy. Fuck, let's just dance. Good morning, Substack. I see you over there as well. We're shooting on the Substack platform this morning as well. We're over on YouTube. We're on LinkedIn. Hey, we launched the exchange today. Yeah. What's going on, Johnny? All right. So listen, we were talking. Hey, Johnny, Rick Chloe had a comment for you, man. I got him put up here. He says, Jon Andersen mentioned the key with the guy losing 5 pounds and sleeping better, and rest and recovery is so key, and nutrition contributes to it. And then he says, yeah, I'm watching that show with Michelle. Yeah, Johnny, I got to tell you, man, since we've been hanging out, that's the one thing, obviously I've learned a lot from you, but the one major one I'm really leaning into is just the idea of how I feel, right? And I've always focused on the feeling side of things in the gym, but it's really interesting to really kind of take that idea of feeling with food. And again, I'm really hanging on what you said with Jory, is that when you got clients coming to you, you're like, the first week, all you focus on is their feelings, eh?
Yeah. I mean, of course, a lot of times they're gonna say, towards the end of the week, they're gonna go, man, my stomach is flatter, my pants are fitting better.
Yes.
But I cue them into, I want you to start looking at, okay, that 3 o'clock lull, is that lull starting to disappear?
Yes.
Because that if I'm getting the metabolism going,
yes,
if I'm speeding it up, everything's going to start falling into place. And the first thing they're going to notice is their energy stabilizing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The 3 o'clock lull. We all have to, don't we, Johnny?
Yeah. I mean, my 3 o'clock lull is like at 11 because I get up at, before 3. But yeah, one way or the next, we all have that thing. And when it comes down to it, it's, I guess when we talk about a feeling, here's the thing. And I've said this before, that, thoughts are the language of the brain. Emotions and feelings are the language of the body. And as we really, really, those speak to us very clearly. And so when we actually start to use those as like barometers and roadmaps, it makes it much easier for us to do what we need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's well, and as intangible as feelings are, they're also very tangible, because when we can create that mental awareness, we know what a feeling is like. And then if we can tune into that, we can chase it again or find it again or work towards it again. Right?
Well, and think like in a different situation, you almost get in a car wreck and the feelings you have, you're scared shitless.
Yes.
You remember that feeling. Emotions and feelings are fucking logged deep into our memory. We remember that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Feelings with music, feelings with how after an intimate moment, feelings.
So start paying attention to the feelings with food, the feelings with exercise, and, start using those to your advantage as well.
Let's stay here, brother, because this is fascinating. Because how we've been talking often on this show about men, and we talk to men, and, your clients are men, and our audience is obviously men, Johnny. But, one of the big challenges we know that men have is being vulnerable and leaning into their feelings. And maybe, just using the word maybe this is one of the ways for some of our men who are struggling with that awareness about being emotionally vulnerable, or having, challenges associating awareness around their feelings. Maybe this is the first step to get there, which is linking it to food. I'm just thinking out loud right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I think what it comes down to is the, the basis of that whole thing is, once a person accepts who they are, and they're like, this is me, you're going to like me or not, and that's okay. Yes. And once you've come to grips with the fact that, hey, not everyone's going to like you, and you just start to be yourself, then so many problems take care of themselves. And I think people they're trying to, I don't know. It's like, this is the root of so many things. If you can just be, okay, look, this is me. And I would say unapologetically learn to be yourself, but sometimes that doesn't make sense to people. It's like, it's just it's simple but not easy. You have to go through the growing pains of recognizing that people are going to say things that might upset you, but then you got to break it down. Is a stranger saying something to you, especially we live in this world of social media, a stranger saying something to you that's negative, you can't allow that to bother you.
Well,
It's and you, when it comes down to it, you just have to realize, hey, some people are going to like me, some people are not. That's the first step. And then once I'm good with saying how I feel, because I know this is me and some people aren't going to like it. Well, now being vulnerable is not so difficult.
Yeah. I've been having this conversation with Flynn, Johnny, around, helping her get to a place where not worrying about what others are thinking of her. Right. She's like, I still struggle with it, Keith, and I still work through it. And I can appreciate that. We all have our journeys. But man, Andersen, when you can find that space where you don't care what anybody thinks, it's actually a magical space in life. And I think, John, in some ways, my friend, I think in some ways it's earned through age. Because I know we both, when we were in our 20s and 30s, we maybe, you were, I know I was still figuring out who I was, and I was still concerned about what maybe others were thinking. But as I age, like, I don't give a flying FWCK what somebody thinks. And the more I care less about it, the more successful I continue to be, it seems. And you too, frankly.
Well, it's try to put it into an analogy. It's like, our brains are like gardens, and you got the weeds and you got the flowers.
Yes.
And if you continue to acknowledge the negative shit people say, you're giving attention to the weeds, and they grow fucking fast. So by giving that attention, you're basically you're letting the weeds in your garden grow. You've got to starve the weeds by not giving that shit attention. If you don't give it attention long enough, it'll basically die and go away. Now, keep in mind, there's always that seed under the ground that if you start giving it attention, it'll come back. But you learn and you practice not to give that shit attention, and it goes away.
Yeah. Yes. It goes away. Yeah, that's a really good.
And once it goes away, you have to realize this is the methodology. I got it to go away. I need to manage this method and not let that dumb shit creep back.
That's right. So as we're talking about how to truly reinvent yourself, we were talking about it throughout the show here today. Again, some simple things, guys. But what we know, it's so hard to put simplicity into action. Right? Waking up, having that self-reflection and awareness, defining a vision, setting some clear and achievable goals along the way, developing that action plan. And then, like we talk here often, is embracing learning and skill development, because you're going to learn, you're going to fail, and walk towards that failure. And then, as John has gone through his career, and even myself, stepping out of your comfort zone, building the support system. Talk about support system for you, John, like your network around you as you were. Like I'm suspecting, I'm just going to suspect here, it wasn't a massive team of people, but it was a select group of some folks around you that you leaned on, Terry, and maybe a couple other people that were really your pillars. Would I be fair to say that? Yeah,
I mean, Terry has been a huge part.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. And I've had, as I've kind of transversed through the different parts of my athletics, I had different crews, if you will, for each one. But when it came down to it, I think the biggest, probably one of the strengths or the things that have allowed me to do what I do and continue to do what I do is that I've really realized that, having that support is great, but I don't need it.
Yeah.
I'm still going to do what I do, whether you stand beside me or not. If you stand beside me, great, and if you want to walk with me, great. But I'm doing what I'm doing irregardless, and it's not dependent on anything or anyone else. It's me. And that's the freedom, because when people are always looking for that accountability partner, that thing to motivate them, it's like, it's like if you're looking for someone to inspire you, if you're looking for someone to motivate you, if you're looking for someone to love you, the person you've been looking for is you.
Yes. Yep. It's true. Well, we talked yesterday, Colby Whitaker. I was like, who motivates you? He's like, my own mirror. Because if you can't look in your own mirror and you have a reason to get moving because your own mirror, then you got a lot more work to do here. So, all right. How to truly reinvent yourself. We're also talking about building support system, implementing changes gradually. Here's the thing too, guys, as you're getting into the new year, You're all going to wake up over the next couple of weeks. Say, I got to change everything. No, don't change everything. Because one thing I've learned from Jon, when you start working with Jon, is you're actually not doing nothing for the first week other than focusing on your feelings. He's not having you do 8,000 things at once. No, implement the change gradually, because if you're looking to do it sustainably, you got to have a foundation in place.
Simple, baby.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
Simple and sustainable. You know, I get people all the time, oh, just kick my ass, just beat me up. I'm like, listen, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you want me to, I can, but you're gonna have to pay extra. That's not part of what we do. You hired me to learn how to eat sustainably. You hired me to learn to have a better quality of life. You hired me so that you could feel comfortable taking your shirt off. You know, you don't have to destroy yourself to do that. What we do is we make a very simple, straightforward, executable plan, eating and exercise, that you can do for the next 30 years. That is the ticket.
But it's funny because, again, we as humans are so quick to judge the book by its cover. So it's like, okay, I'm going to go work with Jon Andersen. I must be getting my shit kicked out of me. Because somebody signing up is going to go, I'm sure this is what's going to happen. And then they're like, oh, right. This is going to be for the rest of my life. This is not a 10-day sprint. No, brother, this is the rest of your life type thing. I'm teaching you how to live the rest of your life. Yeah. And that's got to be a surprise for a lot of people, right? So implementing changes gradually. And the last one, Johnny, and I think, I know you would subscribe to this, especially with your clients, but it's just regular evaluating and adjusting. What worked last month is probably not going to work 3 months from now, or 4 months from now, or 6 months from now, right? So,
brother, and that you just hit literally the philosophy that I teach people.
Yeah,
is your body's speaking a language. And I got to teach you what that language is, because as you get older, that language is going to slowly start to morph. You'll still understand it if you're speaking. It's almost like an accent that develops if someone moves to a different part of the world. You still understand them, but the difference is, if you don't learn the language, in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years, the shit that you're doing today is not going to work the same. Yeah. So as long as you understand the language of the body, I'm teaching you how to adjust accordingly. This is a lifelong sustainable deal.
Yeah, it's intriguing. It's intriguing. And like I said, we especially this time of the year when folks are looking to change their lives, you're not changing your life for 1 year. You're looking to change your life forever. So the goal is sustainable, evaluate often, and adjust occasionally. So there we go, Johnny. Let's that gets to the end of our 90 minutes together. I know you're gonna rock and roll. I'm gonna move into the community corner creator spotlight here in a moment. But before we do that, what do you got going on this weekend? And I'm kind of curious. I didn't get a chance to ask you. I was going to talk to you about it on Monday. But what do you do with the family for Christmas, brother? Do the girls come in? Do you go to the girls? Where?
Yeah, they're coming in on Sunday.
Okay. So does your house fill up next week with the whole crew? They all show up?
Yeah. Yeah. So like we're even going to have people. Because in the studio here, there's a couch right across from me that turns into a hide-a-bed. So we're going to have that full too. So,
fun.
So that'll be, I can't remember which days exactly. So this room will be off limits for me in the morning. So I have to find some sort of a plan B.
Yeah.
But so I'm looking forward to it. Like we have the girls come on, the two younger girls come on Sunday, and probably Monday, depending on when they get here. We have the tree set up, and we're going to decorate the tree together like we did when they were little.
Yeah.
Yes. We play games, and we watch movies. We just kind of spend a lot of just good quality time. They don't get up until 8, 9, 10 o'clock. So I get up and kick ass. Yes. I get myself feeling nice and fulfilled with being productive. So I earn that time, because we end up watching lots of movies. And fun. You're not going to get me laying down watching a movie unless I've fucked some shit up earlier in the day.
Yes. Yeah. I'm the same. I got to get my shit done before I'm going to go lay down and relax and not do much. And I'll tell you, the annual one for us, and I just sat down and watched with Brookie this week, is the Chevy Chase's National Lampoon's Vacation. That's a classic one for me, man. So I love that one. Lauren's got me the nativity scene of that movie over the years, and I got a nice collection of it. It's funny, man. It's so fucking stupid. You know what I mean?
But you can watch it once a year and love it every time.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. It's exactly right. I watch it once a year. I laugh at the same parts every single year. And then 365 days later, I laugh at it again.
There we go.
You know?
There we go.
All right, pal. Listen, you have yourself a great weekend. We'll look forward to reconnecting Monday morning with you on The Loop.
I'll see you on the actually that's right. It's Friday today, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's right. Okay, shit. So God damn, I guess I'll see you the Loop early morning Monday Loop. Let's go, baby.
All right. Johnny's out of here, guys. Have a good one, brother.
See you, brother.
Take care. All right, Johnny's out of here. Hey, good morning to those on Substack. I see you guys over there. I see you, Trang Sin. Hey, Trang, I'm streaming over on YouTube. Come check us out on YouTube live. The full production's happening over there. This is behind the scenes on the Substack channel. Hey, Trang saying this is the only morning show on the planet that helps men get their ass out of bed. Think about Men's Health, Men's Journal, chucked in with a little bit of Howard Stern and FM radio from 1980 and brought together in 2024, delivered with a twist of AI and modern conversation, brought to you here on the morning show. So I got a camera over there, got a camera over there, got a camera over here, got a camera over there. I've got cameras everywhere. And this is the part of the show where I'm by myself now. Yep. Oh, yeah. We typically have guests coming in for Community Corner where we're going to celebrate. I like to. So if you're new here, I'm a hand talker. I talk with hands all the time, just all over the place with the hands. Okay, Jimmy, it's you and me here, brother. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to the creator spotlight in the Community Corner. Once I figure out where all my buttons are, that makes the creator spotlight happen. And once I can do that, we will get to the creator spotlight. So, Jimmy, what I'm expecting we're going to do, brother, is we're going to go using the LinkedIn first. And then we're going to pull the old gamma. That's what I'm thinking we're doing. I don't know, Jimmy. I'm just thinking out loud here. So, okay. So, oops, not that there. We're going to get this off there. And I'm going to go here. And I'm going to present this there. And, Jimmy, I got the old LinkedIn up there, okay? Just so you know. Okay, so Creator Spotlight, Community Corner, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, the only show to get your ass out of bed. There's a cut. There's a cut. There's a cut for the post-show credits. We got a guy who we're going to celebrate here. We're going to talk about him. That helps male C-suite leaders and other executives 40 plus live longer and is the CEO of a company called yeah, not naming it yet, brother. Nope, not going to do it net. He helps male C-suite and other senior executives 40 plus live longer and build strong, healthy, resilient bodies by shedding 15 to 30 pounds of body fat. Fat. Get rid of the body fat, recomp body composition. We don't want the fat. Gone from home with kettlebells. Yeah, was going to say his name. He's the kettlebell guy. So is this you, if you're a male? Business professional 40 plus. Maybe you're tired of struggling to lose weight. Maybe you want this. Maybe you want to lose 10 to 30 pounds of body fat, not weight, body fat. Maybe you want to build a strong, resilient body. Maybe you want to look and feel better. Maybe you want to feel healthy and strong. Maybe you want to increase your energy. Maybe you want to see results in a way that fits your busy lifestyle. Maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe you do. Well, this fellow who we're celebrating here today, and this fellow who we're celebrating over here today, hey, we're going to do a multifaceted camera creator spotlight, Jimmy. Maybe you want to hang out with this guy. Because not only did this fellow lose over 25 pounds and become lean and strong, but he also gained knowledge. He also gained empowerment. He also gained confidence. He also gained focus. Most importantly, he gained accountability. Yep, he gained accountability. This physical and mental transformation was life-changing for this fellow, leading to this mission to help other business professionals 40 plus to get in the best shape of their life. So, with that massive introduction, Jimmy, today's Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is proud and pleased to celebrate. Let's get the buttons ready. Hugo Mendez. That's it, Hugo. Boom, boom, boom. Good morning, Hugo. Surprise, surprise, surprise. We are celebrating here Mornings Live with Keith and Friends. You know how this segment works. We take somebody on the old LinkedIn morning show, Mornings in the Lab mountain. We take the big old morning show light and we go, woo, we just fucking crank it right up. And we go, okay, we're going to shine on Hugo. So Hugo, we're shining light on you here today, my friend. And why are we shining light on you here today? Well, the Age Strong advantage. Targeted approach, time efficient, proven results, expert guidance. Is Age Strong right for you? He's looking for ideal candidates who are male business professionals, common challenges that are struggling with weight loss, unhappy with appearance, risk of chronic conditions, unused gym memberships. Jimmy, you know what we're going to do? Jimmy, we're going to pull up the gamma for Hugo. We're going to put that one on the stage for this guy because I think that's a great way to shine light on Hugo. So here's what we're going to keep doing here. I'm going to get this up there. And we're going to present this for Hugo this morning. So there we go. Hugo Menendez. The Age Strong advantage, targeted approach, time efficient, proven results, expert guidance. Are you the ideal candidate? You're a male business professional. You're struggling with weight loss. You're unhappy with your appearance. The Age Strong transformation. Shed excess weight through body fat, build resilience, boost confidence, optimize performance. His personal journey, he had a COVID challenge. He seeks some help. He had a transformation. Now he's got a new mission to help others achieve similar results. So there you have it, nation. Hugo Menendez, Mornings in the Lab, Keith and Friends. We are spotlighting you, my friend, and this is how it works. We like to shine the light on somebody in your orbit. So Hugo, you're officially invited to the show. I want to have you on the show during this community corner spotlight, and I want you to take the big ass morning show light and shine it on somebody in your orbit and say, hey, I want to celebrate that human on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. There you go. Jimmy, that's it. That's it. Hugo, we're done celebrating you, brother. Yeah, that's how it is. Okay, let's go around the horn. Let's go around the horn as we would like in the I guess in the ESPN world of around the horn. So we're gonna go around the horn. The horn's gonna start over here. So my horn over here is looking at the Substack camera. What's up there, Substack? People don't talk on Substack. What's up, Substack? Yo, yo, yo. And then we're gonna go to the middle camera over here and say what's shaking, everybody. Hey, listen, we're back here next week. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, 8:00 Eastern time. I know it's Christmas. I know it's Boxing Day. I know the following week is New Year's, but here's the thing. I got to get up. You got to get up too. So if you're going to get up, come join us for the show. And if you're going to get up after a night of poor decisions, maybe the show might help you make you feel better about yourself. Maybe the show will help you be encouraged to move in a direction where you feel better about yourself. So tune in Monday, 8:00 Eastern time. We're going to talk more about holiday season. We got Dr. John Page joining us on Monday. We're going to talk about why we always don't have to be happy and excited and joyful during the holiday season. If you're feeling crappy about it, feel crappy about it. Yeah. True story. There we go. Okay. Jimmy, let's get out of here, man. Let's go to work. Let's get some post-production going. I'm suspecting we don't have a lot of post-production going today, but that's okay. It's going to be still fun. Sound like I'm talking like John Kraske right now. Little short burst. Okay, Jimmy, let's rock and roll, man. I'm going to get out of here and going to go to work. Nation, we'll see you guys Monday, 8:00 Eastern time. You know where to find us, right here in the lab. Ciao.